Hello and welcome to another edition of Pause Boxing Predictions. Well, let's start right away with the first fight that I'm going to cover. It's a super middleweight fight between two undefeated fighters, Gilberto Ramirez and Jesse Hart. It's for the WBO title. And Ramirez is the defending champion. He beat Arthur Abraham in last year to win it, and then defended against Max Bursak. Both guys are very tall. They have a few similarities. They are both Ramirez is 6'2.5" and Hart is 6'3". Well, Ramirez earlier on showed some power, but recently when he stepped up to fighting elite level guys, he didn't really score any knockouts. So while Hart hasn't yet fought anyone elite level, and he has 18 knockouts in 22 victories. He also has a reach advantage, yes, 2.5 reach advantage. Ramirez is 26 and Hart is 28. He started a little bit late. He's the son, of course, of Eugene Cyclone Hart, so was really hard puncher. So I believe Jesse is a hard puncher himself. Yes, it's obvious. He has stopped guys early. I mean, most of his knockout victories came within 6 rounds, except against Aaron Pryor Jr. Yes, that's right. Hart is a little bit, despite his age, being a little older than Ramirez, he's a bit more unexperienced, in elite level fights. Yes, even though Ramirez himself doesn't have so many, but still, he's a world title holder, and he knows how it is to fight in a world title match, and Hart does not. So that may become a decisive factor. So I think Ramirez perhaps may win by a decision. May be knocked down by Hart, but I guess because of his experience and the fact that he did beat two, elite level fighters already, he's the favorite. So Hart may be, perhaps, he may prove to be even better, but we don't know that yet. So it's safest to bet on Ramirez, I believe. Yes. So I think Ramirez wins by unanimous decision. A close unanimous, or maybe a majority decision. Yes. And then we have a fight, another WBO fight, but a featherweight. Very exciting, actually. One of my favorite prospects, which I hoped would get a title fight, but at super bantamweight, because he used to fight there, Genesis Servania from the Philippines. He's fighting the WBO featherweight champion, the excellent Oscar Valdez. So, yeah, it promises to be a really good fight. Yeah, Valdez is the puncher, I guess, the harder puncher and a more natural featherweight. He's also fought at super featherweight, and height-wise, there Servania is a bit taller by an inch and a half. I think Servania is not a really hard puncher, but he has won a few, victories, uh, over a few better opponents by stoppage. So he's not without power anyway. He stopped Alexander Munoz, former world champion, by TKO in 12th round. He also stopped Rafael Concepcion, who was a really good contender once, by TKO in the second round. So anything can happen. So he's not without power anyway. And Valdez, he is more like, both guys are quite offensive, fighters. And yeah, it's really hard. Gonna be a tough fight, but since this is on Valdez side of the world anyway, he is the favorite and he's the defending champion. Servania has not been defeated so far. Well, I think Valdez will probably become the first one to do it, and but most likely by a decision, because I don't see him stopping Servania. He failed to stop Miguel Mariaga, for instance, who was easily handled by Lomachenko, of course, in August. He stopped Gradovich, but Gradovich was already on the slide, I guess, by that time. So I don't know. Anything is possible, but I would most likely bet on Valdez to win by decision. Yes, that's right. Unless, of course, Servania, you know, surprises us. This is a fight really hard to win for him. I guess he'd have to win almost by a knockout or score a few knockdowns to win. Yeah, that was it. Well, let's go on. We have a few other good fights anyway. One at least that I know of, but just it takes a little time to find it. Yes, it's Dmitry Kudryashov. It's a fight that I really wanted to see, Uh, well, perhaps first I could say something about this fight. In Manchester, it's between Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury. Yeah. Parker, he looked really good, and he still does, but I guess he's not quite the hot new, Mike Tyson type destroyer that I thought he was. Because in his last fight against rather average Soyanu, he failed to stop that guy or even put him down. So that was kind of disappointing. Fury, of course, is fighting at home, and he is slightly the bigger guy, but not the harder hitter, of course. Yes. Of course, I favor Parker to win, definitely. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think Fury will do his best. he'll make a solid performance, but I don't know whether Parker can really stop, if he will stop this guy Fury. But I wouldn't bet on it again. I think the safest bet is to win on a points victory for a champion, because Fury has so far showed himself as a tough guy, and he's the bigger man. He can tie up Parker well. Perhaps not the stronger man, but anyway. Yes, and then there is a fight between. It's a really good fight too. Jorge Linares and Luke Campbell for the WBA title, lightweight title. Yes, I guess Linares is the defending champion. Yes, and he's fighting another Brit after two fights against Krolla. Luke Campbell, he is really good prospect, and he did lose once to a very good fighter, Ivan Mendy, when he was knocked down and lost by split decision. But after that, he pretty much went tearing through the other opponents, and in his last fight, he stopped Darlis Perez, which was very, impressive, because Perez, he only had one loss before that. I mean, two losses, sorry. He had a really close fight with Gamboa, and then he kind of got a little unlucky and was knocked out against Krolla by a body shot. Anyway, let's return to Campbell. Campbell, well, he's of course the younger man, slightly, not that much, but Linares has had a much longer career. Linares, yeah, he will win, I think. Yeah, very likely. Or I think there's a slight possibility of Campbell inflicting a cut on him or something and winning by a technical knockout or something. There's a chance of that happening. So Linares still has very fast hands and he can hit, and he's a good technician. He's a pretty complete fighter. So I think one must favor him still, even though it will be a really good fight, I believe. Tough fight. Yeah, so Linares on points. And then the big fight. It's the cruiserweight fight between the guy that I really wanted to see fight again, Junior Dorticos. He hasn't fought since May last year when he knocked out Yuri Kalenga and Dmitry Kudryashov, the hard-hitting Russian hammer. Kudryashov just avenged his only loss to Durodola. Yeah, these are guys who can, both can hit. And yeah, they can hit, and but Dorticos, I guess, is the better technician, perhaps. I'd favor him, I think, slightly against Kudryashov, because Kudryashov hasn't really beaten anyone uh, as good as Kalenga yet. But of course, Dorticos hasn't fought now for it's 16 months. Yeah, I don't know how much damage that will do to him. Anyway, I think Dorticos is the favorite to win. I think maybe hmm, since Kudryashov has already been stopped once, in 2 rounds even, I think Dorticos can also stop him. And yeah, Kudryashov may be a quite limited puncher. He does, appear to be such a fighter. So Dorticos is the favorite, yes. So I think he wins some quite similarly as he did against Kalenga. Yeah, a TKO in the late rounds, most likely. So we got a knockout prediction in the end, finally. Yay. Okay, well, that was all I had for this time. I hope you you liked this. And so see you. Bye bye.